we're going to be talking about is drawing letters in 1-point perspective and how you can really get things to start looking more 3D using the element of art, line, and other things we're going to talk about is perspective in the 1-point, shape versus form, vertical lines, horizontal lines, and of course diagonal lines, and how you can make things actually appear to recede back into space into a vanishing point. So to start this off, we do have a technique sheet that we're going to go through, and everybody will receive a copy of this. So this is letters in perspective. What you're going to be doing is connecting the corners of the letters into each one's own vanishing point, drawing the sides of the letters with horizontal and vertical lines. Then you want to be drawing very, very light so you can erase the rest of the lines after it gets past or into the vanishing point. So to start this, you do need to have just a sharp number 2 pencil. It's nice to have handy a good ruler, and if you don't have a ruler handy, you could always just find a piece of cardboard or something that has a straight edge. So even the cardboard in the back of a spiral notebook, you could rip that out and cut that down to size so you could use that. Okay, starting over here, on the letter A, we're going to go through this together. So what we want to do is grab the sides of the letter and we're going to extend it down into the vanishing point. So I'm just going to mark it so you can see. On this letter A, I'm going to put a little dot. You don't have to do this step, but just for video so you can see what I'm talking about. On all of the individual parts or the corners of the letter, we're just going to mark that with a little dot. So I know where I'm drawing my lines out from. And then there is one more up here that I do want to mark. So now I'm going to start actually drawing the lines so we can get it from a shape into a 3D form. So I'm just going to match up the outside edge of the A and bringing my ruler up close to that. I'm going to try to line those up. And some people find it a little easier to mark it with your pencil and just hold your pencil in place and then bring your ruler up the rest of the way. But once I've got that in place, then I'm just going to lightly connect it down into the vanishing point and then move my ruler a little bit over, grabbing from the next corner again into my vanishing point, lining that up as best as you can and taking it and connecting the two. Moving on to the next corner, going up, and bringing that down. Again, you want to draw lightly. I'm going a little bit darker so you can see it on the video. So now I'm just going to go up to my next corner and match that up and bring that down. So everything is connecting into the vanishing point. Oops, my ruler shifted a little bit there, so I went over it once more. And there's still one more edge that in here I want to grab. So I'm going to go up to the top, that in-between section of the A. I'm going to carefully place my pencil right up to that. And I'm going to drag my pencil down. Now, when your pencil comes in contact with another part of the letter, do not just continue that line down. We're not actually going to see that. That's part of the overlapping of the object. So all I'm doing is just connecting this upper line down until I'm at the bottom of that, lifting my pencil. And then I could kind of leave it like that. So now I'm getting it actually pushing back into space into the vanishing point. Now this isn't complete until we start adding in some of our horizontal lines to finish off the shape. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my ruler and line it up on the horizontal line at the bottom of the A. And then I want to drag that ruler down, trying to keep it as straight as possible. And this is going to set the width of what's showing at the bottom of the A, keeping your ruler nice and straight. I'm going to go ahead and just draw in my parallel horizontal line on one side, and then again over on the other side. And I'm just connecting the two parallel lines of this one and this one. Okay. I haven't done anything on the diagonal at all yet. But then when I remove my ruler, you can kind of see where the bottoms are going to show up. I'm going to twist my paper a little bit. Now I'm going to match up to my vertical line that's coming off the side here. And I want to move this down until it's about the same width of the bottom line here. So now I'm going to place my pencil back down. And I do got to move that just a little bit. So actually I'm going to put the point of my pencil down first, going back over, matching it up. And here I'm going to drag up the edge. So it looks something like that. And then I want to do the same thing for the other side. And I'm just going to drag this out until it would match up with the width of the bottom line. And I'm just going to connect those two right there. So now I've got the edges of the A in place. And again, I did say go ahead and draw very, very light so you can erase this in the end. So now I just go in and I'm erasing with my pencil the extra lines that I don't really need to pull off the 3D effect. And I can go ahead and bring that down. Now there is one more right up here. So I want to bring this down a little bit and add in one more parallel line. And I'm shooting for about the same thickness of what I have in the other areas. I'm just going to drag this back up and we'll try it right here. Drawing nice and light. There we go. So now I've got that bottom added into it. So that would be for letter A. You would then move on to letter L and T. And over here, you'll see that I've got some guidelines in place for you so you know which areas that you're going to add your lines from. I'm just marking that with a little bit of a dot on those edges, one more over here, and we could even add one right there. Again, you're just going to take your pencils, line those on up, and drag from one point down into your vanishing point. So what this effect is doing, it's just creating a receding effect where the letters are kind of moving back in space, giving it a 3D form. Just going to drag that out. Now, when they go over the top of the letter, we're not actually going to see that. So we could actually pop to this side and just drag that out. This one you're going to see a little bit more of. I'm just going to line that up. Now, if you wanted to continue dragging this out, just draw nice and light so you can erase it in the end. Drag that out. Now my pencil shifted a little bit there, so I'm actually going to erase this and try it one more time. Put my pencil down in place and just drag that out. There we go. Okay, there's a few that in the end I would go ahead and erase. But at this point, I would start laying down my ruler and dragging it out to get the parallel line, the bottom side of the T. I'm just going to drag that out there. I could do one more parallel set. Just like that. And then I would go through and connect the side edges. Now this one you wouldn't see because it's going through the base of the letter T. we go. And then you could go ahead and start erasing the extra lines that go back to the vanishing point that you don't really need for the effect. So that is the T. We'll do one more here. And you'll notice that each one of the letters have its own vanishing points. You're not actually going to be dragging the letters A all the way over to the W here. Just look for the coordinating vanishing points. So on this letter, go ahead and put a dot here, here, here. I could go here and here. Yeah. Then I'm just going to start dragging them out, lining it up, and dragging it out towards the vanishing point. And as you start getting better and better at these, you'll notice you don't actually have to drag it all the way out. If you know how wide you want it, you could kind of cut it a little bit shorter and not have to do the extra step of erasing anything. So now I'm going to go and add in my vertical parallel line. I'm going to go right from here to here. Just give that outside edge of the letter L. And then laying it back down, dragging it back out until I get to that other width that I set for myself. Taking your pencil and just in between those two lines, dragging that out. Then the extra space that I could start erasing would be anything outside of those lines. So that is the A, the L, the T. You would continue on with the E and the W. If you wanted to actually draw out your own name, on a sheet of paper, what you're going to do is start with your horizon line, just lightly drawing out a line, usually right around the center of your paper. And we'll go through this more in class too. So just lay it down, try to keep your ruler as straight as possible and very, very light. Just mark your horizon line. From there, you're going to decide where you want your letters to fall. So if you want them to be 3 inches tall, you would go through and measure across. Just give yourself 2 little tick marks, even 3 if you wanted. So you know where your 3-inch mark is. Just like that. And then you lay your ruler down and connect those little tick marks. Okay. Take your pencil, drag it across. And that way you know that your letters for your name would be those 3 inches. I think what I'll do is lower the horizon line a little bit. And then choosing your vanishing point, you could go right in the center and just lightly put a little dot there. You could go a little bit to the left or the right. The one thing you should stay away from is anything too close to the edges of the paper. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of lines that you got to really draw in. And then what you would do is you're just going to write in your name up here, but I'm just going to try to keep it kind of equal. And if you feel comfortable drawing in the block letters, you could go ahead. Just making sure that you're staying between the 2 lines here. So you're staying at that 3-inch mark and just creating your block letters. So whichever way you would like to do that. If you just freehanded it, you could go in and continue on shaping out your block letters like that. But then you're just going to do the same kind of ideas that we just went through on the other sheet, connecting the hard edges, laying down your ruler, connecting that. If it runs into the edge of another letter, lift your pencil and continue on with your line. Just make sure that you're taking your time and connecting it into the vanishing point. Continue on with this T here. Now in your sketchbook, just on one of the pages there, I would like to see you try out this technique of receding the letters into the vanishing point using your first name. Just drag that out there. And if you have any questions, just call me over so I can help you out with that. As you're drawing it out for your first name, remember, if you run into another section of the letter, don't just continue your line, pick up your pencil and stop right at the edge of that letter. Then you could continue it on the other side if you wanted to. Okay, so that is the first steps. I would then go in and start adding in my parallel lines and the vertical lines that go along with the same width. Again, let me know if you have any questions and I will be around to help you.